Well, good morning from the ridge.
Good morning.
I know, guys. We have not been very steady on this channel. We want to, and we mean to. It's just been a little crazy.
See what happened was.
Yeah, so it's been a wonderfully crazy busy time here at the ridge. We just coming off our first hosting yesterday. We had Tilted K and It's All Grady come for a cookout and spend the day here at the homestead and tour it and see everything we've had done and just have really good fellowship and enjoyed having them come. And today we're actually going to be heading over to Tilted K's. We'll have to go over and
those will be
check them
coming
out.
up. We can't
give
can't
away
let
those.
all the beans get spilled. That seems to be the trend lately, which is fun. Like, we enjoy watching the videos about spilling beans, cause but yeah, so we got some stuff going on with that. That's pretty exciting. I mean, it's our first opportunity, of being able to reach out and help, somebody, anybody.
And to be in a position to help.
Yeah, and we've been itching for it, just like we had been itching for hosting for a cookout. And
because that's just the kind of people we are. Like,
right.
I mean, we love our private time and we love our alone time, but our personalities are just such that we do enjoy that, reaching out and helping, and that's just who we are. Just can't fight that feeling. So, and it looks like it's going to be another beautiful day. Just loving life right now, guys. I mean, not everything's perfect, but definitely appreciative for what we have going on and what we're building here. So
it definitely, reinvigorates you. I know we've talked about it before, was, you see your place day in and day out, you're working it, especially if you're watching and you're doing something like what we're doing, or even some of our friends that, if you're watching their channels and doing what they're doing, is you don't notice the improvements. You don't notice kind of the day-to-day. Like, okay, you notice that, all right, maybe that corn's, just an inch taller today, or, there's a few more leaves, or something's starting to flower, like some of those types of things. But for us, I think, oddly, is we notice those, the little things, easier. It's the big stuff that we almost, I guess, overlook. And so when we get a chance to go somewhere else and, you get back home and you're like, oh, I really want to try this new thing that I learned or noticed or seen or we talked about while we were there. But it's vice versa, when someone comes to your place and they see, oh, okay, this is how you did that, or plus I know it was mentioned yesterday, so we did our big live yesterday too, and
that was
super fun. We got some kinks to work out doing something like that in the future. Like,
well, we just weren't prepared. We did the live off of the webcam from our laptop, which y'all know is not the best quality. So, I mean, you can make out who we all are, but had we planned ahead or, did what normal people would do and actually pay attention to the time.
Well, that's where we started. We set ourselves up for failure. Doing normal people?
Yeah.
Who's that?
And
I Googled it one and it didn't look like a fun time to me.
Here we were with 2 minutes before we go live, and the guys are still trying to figure out if they can make a real camera work instead of a webcam. Yeah, no.
So it's, and we're still new. Eric and them are new to, not only YouTube, but then doing the lives, and Denise and Marcel are great about it. But it's still pretty fresh and new in them. And I think, that commonality between our three families, even if the camera's not on, is just,
the dynamic is so
cool.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we've said from the get-go, was we want to be friends first, and then we can you two partner up and do those things second. But ultimately for us at the end of the day, it's, you know, that friendship, that fellowship, you know, camaraderie, as we called it in the Marine Corps. And, you know, and that's amazing because we have that with them. And it's so refreshing to finally have people that we can talk to about anything that we're doing here.
And they get it.
They get it. You know,
not that our other friends don't. We have a lot of friends that we love that aren't in the same direction that we are, that still love what we do. So we're not discounting those at all.
Right.
Right. We love all of our friends equally, no matter whether you're a homesteader or not. But for us moving down here and not having anyone here to find those like-minded folk, it's pretty refreshing for sure.
And keeping it close. You know, we know we moved away from everybody, and we talk about it a lot because, well, that's a lot. You know, we get that question a lot, is how the heck can you move away from everything that you know? And
we put a lot of miles on the vehicles
and,
going back home.
You know, and we do have really great friends, you know, but they're a further distance away, and I think that's where our connection and so it's awesome though. And this whole week has just been, I mean, today's Tuesday, but ever since the meetup, it's been such a whirlwind of, you know, of everything. I mean, our channel's growing.
It's just blowing up.
Our homestead is growing.
We got baby bunnies almost ready. We've got one chicken we're letting Red finally go broody. She's been wanting to go broody for a while, and we've chased her out multiple times. And with the loss of we've lost 4 hens, baby chicks, or, you know, our younger ones, to predator. So we're going to let her go broody. So we've got babies coming left and right. It's just so cool. So much going on.
It's good to see what we dreamed up together, you know, years ago, coming to fruition. I mean, it's almost surreal. And then when you have days like yesterday where people come and they're complimenting how you've done things, because, you know, we've done a few things, and professional is not involved in any of the terminology used in looking at anything that we do, but it's quality, and it works. And we know that a lot, you know, some of this stuff may or may not be temporary. You know,
I'm loving the food court. Originally, you can ask him, I was totally against centralizing everything. Like, that was one of the huge things that I was against. I wanted things spread out on the homestead. I didn't want them clustered. But now that out of necessity they got clustered, I kind of almost love it. And I do. And now we have the food court. And
it works even for our future planning for the property. And we were both on that same, we don't want everything packed. You know, there's 17 acres. So why would you pack everything in, you know, in 2, or, you know, stretch it out to 5? And part of it is that whole age and place thing is, as we get older, we're still going to be doing these things. You know, maybe we scale down the garden, or we scale down the amount of animals, or, you know, it'll obviously, it's got to get bigger first, because we've got to get all of our infrastructure in and expand it. And but then you keep everything manageable to where it doesn't take you, you know, 5 hours just to get morning chores done, because it's so far away, or, you know, things are so inconvenient. And I mean, truth be told, this is the only area we have cleared out, and it's the only area we have time to clean out right now. And going into the woods and trying to thin them out this time of year, like, I don't have any plans whatsoever between now and this fall, winter time, to really clear any area unless we have to, because it's so dumb thick. And, you know, the ticks are out even worse this time of year. And
we'll get it done. And I think as time progresses and as we complete each project, because, we jumped in full force. It was project. And, we felt that urgency to get things established. And now that they're somewhat established, we can focus back on recentering to finish some of those that we started. So
Right.
definitely looking forward to that and seeing what we can harvest. I messaged the lick tub guy this morning to see if we could get more lick tubs today, since we're going to be heading in that direction. So we'll see if we get answers back. If that's a no, then that'll force us to have to go ahead and build some
And
boxes real
we've already
fast.
planned for some other options. I mean, we have. Yep. See, coffee chat with the chickens. He's there. Y'all understood what he said, right? He said, "Shut up and get to work."
So we got a lot of work to do, but today
we're
is
loving
kinda,
it.
Yeah,
You
we're
know,
loving
and
it.
it's definitely not a complaint of work. I would much rather work hard here than go work and make somebody else richer. Like here, we're paying ourselves.
And
and
food.
And I would much rather have the payments of what we get from our own land than I would, a dollar bill from somebody else, because for every dollar they're paying me to do that job, they're making 5.
Just for clarification, he doesn't mean payment we don't have a land payment. We paid cash, so.
Well,
It was
yeah.
confusing to me. I thought maybe I'd just clarify that, but I'm blonde and it's me, so,
Yeah, the payment to us is, when we sit down at lunch and have a salad from our garden, and, when the rest of our vegetables and crops start producing, is I'm not paying that money to somebody else at a grocery store and making them rich because I'm buying their produce or their products. So
they're just wanting to bite this morning.
we that payment is so much better than an actual dollar bill. And for me,
It's so much more rewarding. I know yesterday we were talking, me and the ladies, where, years and years ago, of course, I started my homesteading journey, 15 years ago, but even before that, when I was younger, I used to think, how could people live like that? Or, you just don't see it. And society tells you have to have a bigger house. Society tells you that you have to have, Coach purses and do all these fancy things. And unless you're, everyone got into the hustle, oh, you got to hustle, you got to hustle, you got to hustle. And, and work more and make more money and buy this, buy that. That you don't stop to realize that's just the marketing people telling you got to have that, because you don't. I find so much more reward in this, in dirt,
right, and
than
that's,
I ever could in a McMansion.
And that's something that, we've had discussions even with our own family, about it, because, really,
Kids are kids, and they're
well, we won't throw names out, but, it's one of those that I throw the constant reminder to them, if you want less, you need less. And, we are as a society, so more, what's the cliche phrase of, he who dies with the most toys wins. And albeit that maybe that's true, but your version of what a toy is your version. And, for us, it's not living in some big, McMansion house or driving the brand newest, vehicle, or I've got to run out and have the newest cell phone, or, all those types of things. Yeah. And, like she was saying, looking back and going, man, how could people live that way? And now we look at it of, why wouldn't you live this way?
Why aren't more people living like this?
And we drive by, so it's funny because we'll go into town and she's like, "Oh, look, babe, there's a subdivision." And I do this whole
it's
like
a joke.
Yeah, I do this whole like because
the houses are 5 foot apart.
Yeah, and they all look the same.
Which is fine if that's what you like. And there might come a time in our 90s that's more of a comfortable thing for us. And, you know, we don't know. We're not passing judgment at
But
all.
for
We're
us,
just saying
that's not our thing, and that's the great part is like we know that
perspectives have changed for
and
us. For
and
sure.
so and we don't, you know, I guess kind of where I was going with it, right, was if that's the way you want to live, then that's great. You succeed at it, you enjoy it. That's not the way that we want to. And those people that live in those subdivisions like that are allowing us to live the way we are, you know, because if everything was a subdivision or all of those people decided they wanted to live out in the country and away from town,
There wouldn't be enough land.
right, there wouldn't be enough land. And so it allows us to be able to live out in the open and have this acreage and not have people right on top of you. So
Yeah.
but we've got a big day today.
We got to get going.
Man, I'm up early, y'all. Like,
Thank Charles for that.
But yeah, we got.
It's not early for me. It was late for me. I slept until 6.
Things moving and shaking around here, and we're excited for it, and we're getting an opportunity to help a friend, which is what we've been wanting. We've been wanting to host for a meal, a dinner, a meetup, whatever you want to call it, and we've got more stuff that comes up.
And we have more channels that are reaching out to us that we're going to host. So stay tuned on the main channel. If you're not already over there, bop over there, because our community is just exploding with so many awesome people. So we're going to be having and hosting and visiting a lot of channels.
Yeah.
So there'll be something for little good nuggets of info on everything from here on out. And we're also going to be jumping back in the tiny house work. So I know the last couple of videos have been a bunch of gardening. And sorry, not sorry. I mean, that's part of homesteading. So
yeah, and it's we, you know.
No one's complaining. They all loving it. It's me. Because I'm like, man, we need to diversify. It can't all be garden.
Well, and that's, you know, I guess one last little tidbit before we're closing this out was a discussion we had yesterday, and you know, with the YouTube algorithms, right? And nobody's figured them out. They're in the same category as chicken math. You know, you don't necessarily understand
changing.
what it is,
Yeah.
and so I think for us, and when you talk about diversify, and that's why, like when we set the main channel up was, you know, we put it as homestead because everything that we're doing here is
homestead.
it's a homestead. Like,
if you don't garden and you don't want to garden, just skip over
Yeah,
that. But
and-
if you want to build a tiny house, you know, tune into those.
we're not sticking within one
genre.
right.
whatever.
I mean, homesteading I think is its own genre within the YouTube algorithm stuff, but it is a very broadcast one, and I think that's where, you know, like young channels that are starting out like ourselves kind of might grow a little slower, you know, because now you're doing the homesteading only, and but everything that we do here is homestead related. And you know, I should have looked it up and had it ready, but go back when you're done watching the video and pull it up and look up the definition of homestead, and it is a very broad definition, and that's exactly what we wanted, because that's what we're doing. I mean, to us, you know, a homestead, right? I mean, it's an easy term to put on what we're doing, but you know, we just call it living. But you know, to have a common word that everybody understands when you're like, hey, on the homestead, they understand what
Yeah,
you're
they get
saying.
it.
So
Sad thing is, 50 years, well, more like 70 years ago, this wasn't termed. It didn't have a title. This was just the way people lived.
yeah.
Our great-grandparents, our grandparents, you know, they didn't need a term for it. And that's just how you got your food. It's just how you lived. So
We're
Or-
gonna
yeah.
get to it, y'all. We
we got chores to do.
got
And
our
they're-
work to do. And
I don't know what's biting, but they are liking my ankles this
Yeah,
morning. So.
we're in need of some rain, but we'll see you.